Have you ever wondered why some books feel less like stories and more like emotional oceans you slowly dissolve into? Why certain novels seem to whisper directly to your intuition? Why some narratives feel like dreams you once had but forgot upon waking? If you are a Pisces Sun, Pisces Moon, or Pisces Rising, or if you simply feel drawn to poetic storytelling, spiritual journeys, magical realism, emotional healing, cosmic love, mystical fiction, intuitive living, and soul awakening books, this podcast episode might feel like destiny unfolding in real time. Because today, we are diving deep into 15 books that perfectly capture Pisces energy. Books that feel fluid, books that feel symbolic, books that feel like moonlight reflected on water. These are not just good books, these are Pisces Zodiac reading recommendations, perfect for astrology lovers, spiritual readers, empath personalities, intuitive thinkers, dreamers, creatives, and seekers. So if you have been searching for best books for Pisces Zodiac sign, books for highly sensitive people, emotional healing novels, spiritual fiction recommendations, or even books that feel like dreams, then stay with me because the tide is just beginning to rise. And trust me, by the end of this episode, you may discover a book that feels like it was written just for your soul. Today, I want to talk to you about something deeply emotional, something intuitive, something almost impossible to explain in logical words. I want to talk about books that feel like dreams, books that feel like memories, books that seem to understand the hidden language of the soul. If you are a Pisces Sun, Pisces Moon, or Pisces Rising, there is a strong possibility that stories have always meant more to you than simple entertainment. You may have always searched for meaning inside pages, comfort inside fictional worlds, healing inside quiet sentences. Pisces is the final sign of the zodiac. It carries fragments of every human emotion, every past experience, every longing that has ever existed. Because of this, Pisces readers do not simply read books. They dissolve into them, they become part of the atmosphere, part of the emotional tide. Many people search for the best books for Pisces zodiac sign, spiritual fiction recommendations, emotional healing novels, magical realism stories, life-changing books to read. But what they are really searching for is emotional recognition. They are searching for a moment where a sentence feels like it was written for them alone. In this episode, we are slowly drifting through 15 books that capture the Pisces energy perfectly. These books explore intuition, nostalgia, longing, cosmic love, imagination, symbolic meaning, and the quiet courage it takes to feel everything so deeply. Let us begin with a story that feels like stepping into moonlight itself. The Night Circus is not just a fantasy novel. It is an experience that unfolds like mist. The narrative does not rush, it lingers. It invites you to observe textures, sounds, memories, and sensations. Pisces readers often prefer atmosphere over action, and this book understands that completely. The circus appears without warning, like a dream you did not know you were waiting for. Relationships are shaped by destiny rather than logic. Magic exists not as spectacle, but as emotional truth. Reading this novel can feel like walking through your own subconscious, noticing details that seem familiar yet unexplainable. Long after the final page, the emotional residue remains, like the echo of distant music. From dreamlike fantasy, we move into myth and transformation with Circe. This story retells ancient mythology in a way that feels intimate and psychologically revealing. Pisces energy is naturally drawn to archetypal narratives, stories that seem timeless and symbolic. Circe experiences exile, loneliness, discovery, and quiet empowerment. Her connection to nature and her intuitive understanding of emotional strength reflect the inner journeys many Pisces placements recognize within themselves. The ocean imagery, the solitude, the sense of becoming someone new without losing softness, all of this creates a hypnotic reading experience. It reminds us that true power often emerges in silence. Then we encounter a book that has guided countless readers through periods of uncertainty. The Alchemist speaks directly to dreamers, seekers, and believers in unseen guidance. It explores destiny, intuitive signs, surrendering control, and trusting cosmic timing. Pisces readers often feel that life is shaped by invisible currents, and this novel validates that perception. The desert becomes a metaphor for inner searching. The stars become symbols of possibility. Reading it can feel like meditation, like listening to a quiet inner voice finally being heard. Many readers return to this story whenever they feel lost because it gently suggests that purpose is not something we chase, it is something we remember. Now imagine childhood memories that feel like portals to another world. The ocean at the end of the lane explores nostalgia, imagination, and emotional perception in ways that are haunting yet comforting. Pisces energy does not strictly separate reality from fantasy. It understands that emotional truth can exist beyond factual logic. This novel captures the vulnerability of growing up, the protective power of imagination, and the strange beauty of remembering experiences that may or may not have happened exactly as we recall them. It invites readers to reflect on their own inner landscapes, their own hidden fears and quiet wonders. As we move forward, we encounter a quieter story about relationships and unspoken emotions. Normal people unfolds like a slow tide, subtle yet deeply affecting. Pisces placements often experience connection on an intuitive level, sensing emotional shifts without needing explanation. This novel explores vulnerability, longing, and the transformative power of being truly seen. It suggests that love is not always dramatic or obvious. Sometimes it exists in silence, in mistiming, in emotional understanding that grows over years. Reading this can feel like remembering conversations that never fully took place. The Midnight Library then introduces a philosophical exploration of alternate lives and second chances. Pisces readers frequently imagine parallel realities, wondering how different choices might have shaped different emotional outcomes. This story allows that curiosity to unfold with tenderness. It reflects on regret, possibility, and the idea that every version of oneself deserves compassion. The magical library becomes a symbolic space where healing begins not by changing the past, but by accepting the present. We then drift into celestial fantasy with Daughter of the Moon Goddess, a luminous tale filled with mythic quests and emotional devotion. Pisces energy resonates strongly with stories that blend imagination and spiritual symbolism. The protagonist's resilience, her willingness to sacrifice for love, and her ability to hope even in uncertainty mirror the quiet emotional strength that defines many Pisces personalities. The writing itself feels fluid, like starlight reflected on water, creating an immersive dreamlike experience. A man called Ove may seem grounded at first glance, but beneath its simplicity lies a powerful narrative about compassion and redemption. Pisces readers often sense hidden pain in others, understanding that kindness can transform lives in unexpected ways. This story explores grief, friendship, and the healing power of community. It reminds us that emotional connection does not always arrive in grand gestures. Sometimes it begins with small acts of care that slowly change everything. The Book Thief offers a lyrical exploration of resilience during times of darkness. Words become symbols of hope. Storytelling becomes a form of quiet rebellion. Pisces energy understands that grief and wonder can coexist, that beauty can survive even in difficult circumstances. This novel feels like a fragile memory preserved in time, inviting readers to reflect on the power of empathy and imagination. On Earth, we are briefly gorgeous reads like a poetic confession, dissolving traditional narrative boundaries to focus on sensory emotion and identity. Pisces readers who struggle to articulate their inner worlds may find profound recognition here. The language itself becomes healing, raw yet gentle, exposing vulnerability without simplifying pain. It is an experience that can feel both overwhelming and cleansing. Like standing in emotional rain, The Little Prince reminds us that simplicity can contain infinite meaning. Its symbolic encounters and philosophical reflections capture the childlike wonder that often remains alive within Pisces hearts. It explores loneliness, friendship, and the invisible truths that shape human experience. Every planet visited becomes a metaphor, every conversation a quiet lesson about love and perception. The Invisible Life of Adilaru explores memory, legacy, and the desire to leave an emotional imprint on the world. Pisces energy is deeply aware of impermanence and therefore deeply devoted to meaning. This story moves across centuries, examining solitude, artistic expression, and the longing to be remembered. It invites readers to reflect on their own presence, their own quiet influence on the lives around them. Kafka on the Shore brings surrealism and dream logic into focus, creating a narrative that resists clear explanation. Pisces readers often feel comfortable within ambiguity, trusting intuition over certainty. This novel invites emotional interpretation rather than logical analysis. Time becomes fluid, symbols repeat, reality bends. It becomes a journey that is felt rather than understood. The time traveler's wife explores love that transcends chronological boundaries. Pisces placements often perceive relationships as spiritual connections rather than practical arrangements. This story suggests that emotional bonds can exist beyond physical presence, that memory itself can sustain intimacy. It is both romantic and philosophical, leaving a lasting emotional impact. Finally, we arrive at When Breath Becomes Air, a memoir that gently confronts mortality and purpose. Pisces energy often contemplates life beyond material success, seeking meaning in experience and awareness. This book reflects on acceptance, gratitude, and intellectual awakening. It does not provide easy comfort, but offers clarity, encouraging readers to appreciate the fragile beauty of existence. If you have listened this far, there is a strong possibility that you recognize parts of yourself in these stories. The dreamer, the healer, the wanderer, the observer of invisible truths. For Pisces readers, books are not escapes. They are portals into empathy, imagination, and spiritual understanding. Perhaps the real magic lies not in searching for the perfect story, but in allowing a story to find you at the exact moment you are ready to receive it. Somewhere, even now, another book is waiting quietly, like an ocean tide preparing to return.